Very good morning to all of you, and welcome to this particular conference. Indeed a pleasure for Accountant to partner with CIO for this particular conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a pleasure to be here this morning. As we know, the topic on BFSI and FinTech is not just contemporary, but something which keeps evolving and changing every minute, every second. I can say from my experience of many, many years having been on the other side, which is auditing banks, insurance companies, NBFCs, fintechs, the kind of evolution that we see over a period of time, it's mind-boggling. And if at all, at any point of time, we miss the boat by not being aware what those changes are in terms of technology, in terms of regulatory matters, then I think it's little late. I was extremely fascinated by the way our country has grown and the way digitalization has picked up over the last many, many years. We keep talking about so many things. We keep talking about artificial intelligence. We keep talking about blockchain. We keep talking about data analytics. We keep talking about regulatory tools, etc. But then, at the end of the day, when it all comes to convergence, and to ensure that things go the right way, it is the underlying technology. There is a partner in my firm. If you ask him something, that what is the most important thing to be successful in a given practice? You know, in an accounting firm, you have the audit, you have the tax and the regulatory, and you have advisory. And he only utters 3 words. And those 3 words is actually just one word. He says, tech, tech, tech. Technology, technology, and technology. And this is something which we all have embraced in the last many, many years, ever since the evolution of technology has happened. And I'm very proud to say that India is an outstanding country when it comes to technology. I don't think I need to overemphasize that, but we all are aware about that. Having said this, various sectors embrace technology. Today you need the best of technology in manufacturing, in other industries, even in sectors like pharma and healthcare. But when we talk about financial services, I think it cannot function without technology. If the blood starts running slowly in the body, then the body will show some kind of effects. If the technology is not the right technology in any financial services entity, then that particular entity is going to suffer. By the time the technology is adopted, a new technology comes in. And therefore, the CISOs, the chief technology officers, the chief risk officers, the chief executive officer, the CFOs, everybody huddle up over a period of time and they keep talking about what is next, what gets changed. So I just thought maybe let me spend about 10 minutes talking a little bit about what's existing currently and what's going to be something coming up in the future. So when I talk about financial services, I just thought that maybe I will set this particular tone in terms of what's happening as far as the technological trends are concerned within the banking industry today. So Internet of Things that we all know what it is about. It is to automate the data acquisition process, because when you acquire the data, it's important that you need to process the data. And it has to be done within the right time as well. So that's something which is really picking up pretty well. When you talk about cyber incidences, and too many cyber incidents have happened, we all know about it. In order to ensure that those cyber incidences don't happen again, or they are curtailed to a great extent, you need the best of security measures. You need to ensure that there is a multi-factor authentication, there is a back-end data encryption, and then there are threat intelligence systems to detect and to prevent such incidences happening again. Talking about cloud computing, I think gone are the days when those individual servers were protecting the data and storing the data. Now it's everything on the cloud. It's much more effective, it's much more secured, and even from a cost-benefit analysis point of view, it's definitely much more economical as well. Blockchain, of course, in order to ensure that the cross-border payments are secured. That's one technology, because there are so many things happening when you talk about cross-border payments and other things, and therefore blockchain is something that technology has actually adopted, and it will keep on evolving as well. IT infrastructure is something that will keep evolving. And we had the servers, now we have the cloud, and there will be so many things happening. Now, companies and the financial services entities will have to keep investing in the IT infrastructure, and to ensure that they need to have those very fat budgets and a great amount of allocation for that. The RegTech tools, now these are the tools that are there to automate the preparation and the submission of the various regulatory reports. I can tell you one incident. I'm aware that one of the regulators called up the CFO of the bank and said that I need this right away. The individual said that I'm actually driving it to the office. Give me half an hour or 45 minutes and I'll definitely come back to you. With due respect, the regulator said, no, I'm sure that you can park the car. It may be there in your cell phone or it may be there in your laptop. I just need it right away. Whether you call it an unreasonableness of the regulator or an unrealistic approach, or whether you want to call it as a testing time for that institution where the regulator wants to know to what extent the automation is there. He literally parked his car, he opened the laptop. Fortunately, that particular institution was prepared, had automated systems to ensure that the data was available and that data was sent. Now that's something from a financial reporting standpoint and from a regulatory reporting standpoint, it helps them a lot. And finally, let's talk a little bit about NBFCs as well. Banking and NBFCs is of course more or less the same. As we all know, the Bank of India is now considering NBFC almost on a similar platform as a banking industry. And over a period of time, NBFCs will be much more highly regulated as well. There are certain digital lending platforms which actually streamlines the origination of the loan, the credit underwriting, and the disbursal process. And therefore, NBFCs will have to collaborate. In terms of what is next, these entities which are forming part of the ecosystem will have to be contemporary, will have to keep evolving over a period of time. There are certain mobile apps, which you all are aware, which NBFCs are preparing, and the online platforms that they have, in order to ensure that the loans are easily available and at the same time the payments are properly made in a secured manner and that they are properly tracked as well. Talking about automated underwriting systems and the risk assessment tools, I think artificial intelligence and the machine learning is something which is helping NBFC to a great extent. Then of course, a lot of investments again go into the technology solutions which actually will drive the compliance and the regulatory requirements of the NBFC. And that is something which will keep changing because the requirements on regulatory aspects also keep on changing. And this is something where I have seen that the NBFCs keep investing. And it's not just the investment in technology, it's also the fact that how the technology is running, how that particular technology gets integrated along with so many other systems operating within that particular organization. The CRM systems, the customer relationship management systems are also an integral part of that because without that, you will not be able to function. Having the highest level of customer satisfaction, having ease in operating, and giving a great customer experience is something that the technology can do to a great extent. Chatbots and robo-advisors actually have a lot of important role because without this, technology will not prevail. A lot of information is confidential. When a human being is actually responding from the other side, there can be a threat to the security. But when you have something like a chatbot or you have something like a robo-advisor to a great extent, including protection of the password and highest level of security can be maintained as well. And finally, cybersecurity infrastructure. Lots are happening. In fact, we as a firm keep doing a lot of work on cybersecurity. And I can tell you that it is so important these days that without having a great framework and a very reliable and a safe framework on cybersecurity, organizations definitely will have a major risk of a cyber threat. Just spending a minute on the insurance side, I think more or less things remain the same. But again, in the case of an insurance company, product innovation is extremely important. Distribution channels are extremely important. Cybersecurity framework is extremely important. And therefore, within that particular insurance industry, the ecosystems of so many other fintechs and so many startups play a very important role. What is it that the apps can do? What is it that those fintechs can do, the startups can do as part of that ecosystem is again an important measure. And therefore, I think a lot goes into the insurance industry. We see so many companies being formed. We see so many startups being formed. We see so many apps coming out. So many of these apps are being acquired for phenomenal prices. People see a lot of value in the technology that can support their mainframe, that can support their systems. And therefore, this is going to happen a lot in the insurance industry as the industry keeps growing as well. Cyber insurance, again, is something that the insurance companies are offering as part of the cybersecurity for the companies in this industry. And therefore, insurers are using the technology to develop certain cyber insurance policies. And this, again, will keep evolving over a period of time as well. I'll come to the stock exchanges a little later. Now, talking about the fintechs, we have experts from various institutions over here who will talk about fintech. But today, look at the fintech world. It's really expanded. It is one of the best in the world that we have as an industry segment. And therefore, the fintechs are playing a significant role in the entire ecosystem of financial services. Not just for financial services, but even otherwise as well. When we talk about fintech, with due respect, again, there is a lot of question coming up, like, is it reliable? Is it something that it'll grow? Is it something that it'll be successful? Is it really giving the value to the ecosystem, to the financial services world? And therefore, these fintechs will have to be absolutely innovative to provide solutions to the financial services industry as such. Like, for example, today, when we talk about artificial intelligence, etc., customer insights, building alternative credit scoring models, these are the things that are being done by the fintech. Today, in the financial services industry, ECL, which is my expected credit loss model, how this model is being built up. There are so many fintechs which provide that particular service. Of course, the organizations cannot actually sort of, buy those specific services from the fintech, but they actually sort of use the support, the know-how, the technology of building up an ECL, because ultimately the ECL is one of the most important components of the financial reporting framework. And therefore, this is something which will keep evolving. New factors come in, new assumptions coming, and contemporary benchmarks keep coming in as well. And therefore, within that fintech industry, some of the things are going to keep evolving over a period of time. When we talk about stock exchanges, we talk about crores and crores of transactions, security of those transactions, whether the data is proper, whether those trades are happening on a platform which is safe and secure, whether the individuals or the brokers who are a part of the ecosystem of stock exchanges are into an environment where there can be a flawless environment with no screw up or with no mess up on that particular front. And that's the reason why fintechs and other contemporary outfits play a very, very important role in ensuring the stock exchange risk management framework is also adequately guarded. Friends, I think a lot will change over a period of time. We, all individuals, have seen the technology evolving significantly. And in times to come, some more solutions will keep coming up. It's a test of time. Everything that comes up is never safe. Everything that comes up is never going to be 100% successful. A lot of tailoring will be required. Each entity will have various solutions. Each entity will have various things to be considered before anything is going to be implemented. And more importantly, the support and the stamp of approval from the regulator. Because this particular world of financial services is extremely regulated. As we all know, whether it's RBI or whether it's SEBI or whether it's AMFI or whether it's IRDA, there is so many things to be complied with. And therefore, the time and the cost of our regulations play a very, very important role in deciding that whether you would really want to have that benchmark technology or whether you're willing to live with the ordinary things as well. But yes, I can always say that it has to be the right balance of cost-benefit analysis. And once you have that particular right balance, you will also have the right benchmark of your risk management framework. The technology plays an extremely important role in customer satisfaction, in the products and services that you provide, and in your regulatory framework as well. So I'm sure that you will all appreciate significant investments in technology, regular evaluations of that technology, and the embrace of technology to result into a positive outcome. I just thought that this is the tone that I would like to set for the rest of the day. And thank you very much for this opportunity, and wishing you all the best. Have a lovely day and a great conference. Thank you.